When you said that, I noticed it. 'Cause I forgot. I didn't even think about it, about the character that they introduced in the first one.
Yeah, Louis
And to
Tan, he
me,
was the lead of the movie.
yes. And I think about it like, how would it sound, a new character being introduced, and the movie was about him in a Justice League movie?
Like just some random dude. Yeah.
Like how? How do you think that will succeed? Come on. But now it seems like they've learned their lesson, and we'll get to that Sony reboot thing later. But
And I'm like, how could you greenlight a Mortal Kombat movie based on a game which is solely centered on a tournament for the fate of the world and not have a tournament in the movie? That, like, you have to fire people for stuff like that.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Gen Report. I'm your host, Pablo, and joining me as always is Mr. Brian Schultz. Welcome. If this is your first time here. The Void. Lots to talk about here on The Void. Some good topics to discuss. A lot of different things that are coming out. A lot of news. First, Netflix brings One Piece to theaters.
Ding, ding.
I don't know who said it. Was it Morpheus when he said it has begun or something? I forget. Did he say that? Did he say
It has begun. I think of like Shang Tsung and like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, right?
It, but like, yeah.
It has begun. I think I've heard it somewhere. But we talked about this, Brian, so we'll get into it a little bit more so that people who haven't heard this from us can hear it again.
Maybe the Morpheus one for Netflix is that they're beginning to believe. Stranger Things and now One Piece. Yeah.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat. Definitely. They are beginning to believe. Mortal Kombat 2 trailer reaction. That came out this past week, right?
Yesterday, day before. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it just yet, but I do like Keith. What's his name?
Carl Urban, not Keith
Urban. I was going to say Keith Urban. Carl Urban, man. That dude has a lot of range and can disappear into his characters and be somebody completely different. Project Hail Mary hype. That this movie has been getting a lot of attention. The folks over at the Campier show are really excited about it. And I know Robert Meyer Burnett has read the books, and he said this is a fantastic film. And the people whom I believe have already seen it have already stated that this movie is spectacular. And again, one of my favorite films is when it's on, I just watch it, is The Martian.
Yep.
So this is going to be interesting. Spider-Verse 3 updates. Sony to retry. Listen, they already know what doesn't work. Maybe they can figure it out. Maybe they can figure it out and try again with some more with better results. Coogler, X-Files gets a lead and Coogler directs pilot. This should be interesting.
Yeah.
And what we're watching, I mean, we've watched a couple of shows. Brian, I'm not into too much of the Knights of the Seven Kingdoms. I have to talk to my wife to see if she wants to watch it. But Night Agent, we've been watching, and there's some other things as well. So we'll get into that. But Netflix, Brian, they saw what was possible. They're mad at themselves for not doing more initially. Now they are going. I don't know why this title though, Brian. So Netflix is bringing One Piece to the theaters.
I can give you the reasons as to why, and I think one of the things that's interesting is to see the tweak here versus what they did with Stranger Things. So I think you're seeing the experiment. You're seeing the grand experiment, like in progress, and I think they're gathering data as they do this. So One Piece season 2 is coming. I think a week after we tape this. But whereas Stranger Things was a series finale, right? So you had maximum build. This is your last chance. Get the community together. Now they're experimenting with a premiere. Let's do it with the first 2 episodes of the new season. Now, you could say, why this title? Season 1 for 2023 was the most watched season of any series on the service. 542 million hours logged in the 4 months of 23 after its release. It also logged more than 2x the viewership of the source anime. So that show was bigger than I think a lot of people realize. And so I think they're running an experiment of like, okay, what if we just do it with a second season of something that was big? We'll do it with the first 2 episodes, not with the end. And let's compare. Let's see what kind of box we get. Let's see what kind of audience we get for that at the theaters versus a series finale, which will inform future decisions. But look, this is what we said. Once you start down this, once you start down the path that forever will it dominate your destiny? Here we are with Netflix. Like there's no going back with this. They are simply going to play around with different types of shows, different parts of seasons. It wouldn't shock me if they did a binge on a season at some point just to see what that looks like. And they're going to eventually reach a model that they can operate off of to use theaters as part of their viewing experience. I will try to go check this out. I liked One Piece. I was a big fan of it. I didn't know the anime that well. I really enjoyed the Netflix version. I like the casting of the young characters. I will go do this though, just to I just want to see like, when I was at the theater on New Year's Day I saw so many Stranger Things t-shirts and paraphernalia. People were out. I don't think it's going to be quite like that, but I'm curious to see at my local theater whether some folks show up, with Monkey D. Luffy's straw hat. Like I'm just kind of curious to see if you see like some fandom come out. So I'll try to report back on that.
Interesting. And when is it supposed to?
So tickets are on sale as we are taping.
Okay,
They're
how many
on
theaters?
sale now. They are, I don't see a quote. I mean, Stranger Things was 650 total screens. I don't see a screen quote for this. I just see that it will be, what's interesting this time also is that AMC, a longtime opponent of Netflix, is actually participating in this.
Interesting.
So they've got AMC, Regal, Cinemark, Cineplex, and Alamo theaters
trying to get that concession money. Yep.
So I think they're going to do this on March 10th, which is the same day that all 8 episodes hit the streamer, but only the first 2 will be on the big screen.
Is the first 2 will be released first, correct? And then
No. You're watching the first 2 at the same time that all 8 go up on the streamer.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section below if you guys are fans of One Piece. I never really got into it. I started watching it, but I don't know. I just couldn't. Not that
it's kind of out there. I mean, it's like the anime characters, like the costumes, and it's kind of wild. Like it's a little bit. Yeah. I said, I enjoyed the charisma of the leads. That was really the thing that kept me watching.
Brian, before we move on to Mortal Kombat 2, what were your thoughts when I said Zoe Saldana as the Bionic Woman? I like that.
I could see it.
I
can see it.
She
actually kind of she's got the build to do it. I mean, we know that she does IP pretty well. She's pretty good track record there. I see it.
Yeah, yo.
I see it.
That could break the curse right there. That could break the curse.
Oh, you want to do it as a movie? You want to do it as a movie, not as a TV show? Interesting.
As a movie,
okay, so that's interesting. All right, so you want to do it as a film. I know, because we know at one point Wahlberg was going to do $6 billion Man. And then there's still talk now. They want to remember that talk that they want to do that with the new, was it Knight Rider, Airwolf? They're trying to put together some series linking those 70s and 80s TV shows. I don't know, but I see what you're saying. She's great. I mean, I'll watch pretty much anything she does.
Yeah. So. Mortal Kombat 2 trailer, Brian. Did you see that? And what did you think?
I saw it. I liked it. This one to me, everything about this trailer was I think they want you to think that they never made that first movie.
Uh-huh.
Did you get that sense of everything about this was you were being...
I wasn't reminded of the first.
Yes. We screwed up. This is the movie we should have made, because this is the one that looks like the game. This is the one that stars not some made-up character, but stars Johnny Cage and the characters and it's actually the tournament. This is the weirdest thing, because they call it Mortal Kombat 2, and I'm this actually feels like the first film, and I think they're intending you to think it's the first film, because that other thing
When you said that, I noticed it. 'Cause I forgot. I didn't even think about it, about the character that they introduced in the first one.
Yeah, Louis
And to
Tan, he was
me,
the lead of the movie.
yes. And I think about it like, how would it sound, a new character being introduced, and the movie was about him in a Justice League movie?
Like just some random dude. Yeah.
Like, how? How do you think that will succeed? Come on. But now it seems like they've learned their lesson, and we'll get to that Sony reboot thing later. But
And I'm like, how could you greenlight a Mortal Kombat movie based on a game which is solely centered on a tournament for the fate of the world and not have a tournament in the movie? That, like, you have to fire people for stuff like that. And it kind of feels like people did get fired for stuff like that, because I look at this trailer and I'm like,
yeah.
Whatever else you think of it, at least it looks like they're going to give you the damn tournament this time.
But here's the thing, Brian. Mortal Kombat 2, or I mean, how many more movies can you get out of Mortal Kombat? You know, it's not a lot.
Not a lot. I agree with you. I mean, you have the lineage of the games, right? So you're basically going to draw from the different generations of the games. This movie looks a lot like, ironically, Mortal Kombat 2, the game. But you're right. This is not something that should have 5 parts to it.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited because the backdrops look like the game. The characters look pretty realistic. I do think it's interesting that tonally, this is shaping up very much like the games themselves did 30 years ago, in the sense that Street Fighter feels lighter. The trailer feels and looks lighter. This looks and feels darker, which is exactly the way the games looked and played when they went head to head way back when.
Yeah.
I am actually excited for this. Like, I am
When
a
does this
sucker
come
for May, first week of May. I am a sucker for this game franchise. I've always loved it. I will go see this on the big screen. I don't know how it will play on the big screen because some of the effects kind of, we'll see. But like, and the weird thing is they wound up with several actors who actually are much bigger now than when they did the first movie, right? So you have like the stars of Shogun as Raiden and Scorpion. Carl Urban with his turn as, Billy on The Boys, right, is a bigger star than, he was when they signed it. Like, it's just interesting. They have several people in this movie where you're like, they're way overqualified for the parts that they have. But, that can help.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know in the comment section below if you guys are excited for Mortal Kombat 2. And did you like the first one? And are you more excited for this one than you were the first one? Or just let us know in the comment section below what you guys think or thought about that trailer.
And now that you've seen footage from Street Fighter and footage from Mortal Kombat 2, which do you think will be a bigger hit? I mean, that's really important. Mortal Kombat 2.
I think you think Mortal Kombat 2 is going to be bigger?
I think Mortal Kombat 2
think so. Okay. It'll be interesting to see who wins this one.
Yeah.
Because that first Street Fighter was an atrocity. And I think they've done more Street Fighter stuff, right? Live action, haven't they? They did.
They did The Legend of Chun-Li.
Yes.
It's just as forgettable.
Project Hail Mary, Brian.
Yeah.
This movie is looking to be something that could really surprise, perhaps, at the box office.
It looks like it will.
With the reviews that it's getting and the word of mouth. And I think if there are people who loved The Martian and that connection to The Martian and now to this is going to certainly pique people's interest into wanting to see this. Brian, what are your thoughts on the hype for this movie?
Super excited. I'm a little concerned the trailers have given away too much. I really thought that last one in particular, I was like, y'all should have kept that one in the bag. I think you had people's money. I understand why they gave away the alien, because I do think from a marketing perspective, it's one of those things that like my kid saw the trailer, right? And the second Rocky's on screen, she's like, ooh, what's that? It's like kind of a Grogu type thing. So I
Yeah.
understand why you showed it. The last trailer, I think, gave away too much, right? They're giving away like the speech and like all the, some of the drama and the life-threatening stuff. But listen, I think there's a couple of really interesting angles to this movie, which is tracking incredibly well. So this is an original standalone project where the opening U.S. box office weekend looks like it's going to be north of $50 million. So global could be north of 100. That's really good for this kind of movie. Martian was actually a really big box office hit back when. I think that got to like 600 global. But again, that was all a word of mouth type thing. People knew the book. And then when the reviews hit, it was like, oh, Ridley Scott and Matt Damon hit one out of the park. And it's just the repeat business just kept rolling in. That thing was nominated for 7 Oscars. Now, it didn't win, but it was nominated for Best Picture. Damon was nominated. Drew Goddard was nominated for this, who is doing this screenplay too. He was nominated for the screenplay for The Martian. Drew Goddard, of course, better known to Marvel fans as the writer and creator of Daredevil on Netflix. But I think you have the angle of Lord and Miller, right? Academy Award winners for the Spider-Verse. Now doing live action. There's already talk this could be, again, Oscar nominee. I don't know if it's like a favorite to win, but like, again, like if they get nominated as like live action directors for this, that's a pretty big deal. There's Gosling, right? Gosling's a big star, and it's like, but he hasn't necessarily had like the vehicle where it's just him and it's a huge hit. And this is that opportunity where it's like Ryan Gosling as box office gold could actually happen. Maybe he can steal a nomination out of this movie. I'm really excited. It also looks great. Like the trailers, like visually, the stuff in space looks fantastic. I can't wait to see this on IMAX because part of it was shot for IMAX. So I think this could be a real, like, I'm glad they put it in March to kind of pull in the sinners, right? We want to get that original thing out ahead of summer and see if we can steal a few weeks. I'm hyped. Where's your hype level on this?
I'm not super hyped. I'm not hyped. I'm excited to go see it. I want to go see it. I want to be pleasantly surprised when I do go see it. So my enthusiasm is minimal, but not in a negative way. More so in I want to see it. I'm definitely interested in wanting to see that because of its connection to what was, I think, one of the best movies. Definitely one of those movies. I don't know if it's in our top 50. Is it in our top 50? Not in our top 50.
No, we put it on there. We put it on there.
Okay.
We put it in the top. You made me put it in the top 25, I think. So it's in there.
Okay.
You know, I had it in the top 50 to begin with. That was like it's gonna be on the list somewhere. But I think you put it in the top 25.
Yeah. So that connection and to see, I think what's his name, Ryan Gosling is always a good watch. When I watched Remember the Titans, I just remember seeing him in that movie. He was funny in that. So
Martian is. It's funny. I just showed my daughter Martian the other day. She loved it. She loves sci-fi, but she loved it. It was a different kind of sci-fi for her. That is one of the most rewatchable movies I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, yo.
That is one of those movies I can watch any 10 minutes of that movie and have fun.
When I'm scrolling and it's there, it's on. I don't care what's happening. I'm gonna be turning it on to The Martian because everyone's performance there is fantastic. And he's from what's his name? The director of NASA?
Oh, Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. I just see the little quirks that he does, the movements and the things that he does. That dude is amazing. You got your 2 weeks, and he's looking at his pinky or whatever he got on his watch or whatever. It's just an amazing acting job. And
that
I think
cast is so stacked. I mean, she would tell Gia Ford, Donald Glover, Benedict Wong, Mackenzie Davis. I mean,
each one of them fantastic,
unbelievable. Like
yes,
that. See, that's where it's like when Ridley Scott does a movie like that, you're like, that's why he's one of the greats. That guy is erratic, but when he is on, nobody's better.
Yeah.
In that movie, he is on. And Damon is, that's like the Damon showcase. That is Damon doing everything that makes Damon a lovable, awesome leading man in that movie.
Yes, absolutely. Spider-Verse 3 updates, Brian. What's going on there?
Speaking of Lord and Miller, they, of course, are out promoting Project Hail Mary, and their other Academy Award winning project came up. As we've known for a long time, this has been one of those like very quietly, because I think Matt Reeves taking a long time with Batman Part 2 kind of got more of the headlines, but there was this like, what is going on with this Spider-Verse thing, because like second one makes, almost $700 million. They've won an Oscar for the first one. And then it was like the third one just like disappeared. It was like there was nothing going on. There were all sorts of problems, like what's happening. And it's finally going to come out. And Lord and Miller kind of got honest and sort of saying like it was sort of their fault. Like they kind of were like, this is Miller talking. At one point it was one movie, but there was too much movie. So then we separated it into two movies. But then once we looked at the second half of the movie, you're like, well, that's like not just a story arc that has a beginning, middle, and end. And then Lord added, well, we know where it's headed, but we need to understand better what's happening in the middle. And we came upon a wonderful notion, which is when your family is broken apart by your calling and your talents, how do you put them back together? How do you have it all? So they basically said they messed it. They basically kind of were messing with it. They were like, hey, it's one movie, it's two movies. They couldn't decide. And like now it's ultimately going to be one movie to finish the trilogy.
Interesting. Hopefully they figured it out. Because that is
$691 million for the second one, animated.
And the first one did what?
I think it was like 300, 400.
It's amazing that we didn't get a Batman Beyond after that. And that type of animation, that would have been interesting to see.
I mean, that type of animation has been groundbreaking because you've seen other projects leverage that style. And I mean, that's the thing. Like that's why when we were doing our list, right, I was like, Spider-Verse kind of does have to be on there because it's like it pioneered something in animation and like made that kind of money. Like,
yeah. Oh boy, here we go. At one point, we thought they had learned their lesson and said, Kevin, you do what you got to do. We're done. We can't continue to take these L's. Now, what's the guy's name? Rothman?
Tom Rothman. What an interview on The Town with Matt Bellany and Lucas Shaw from Bloomberg. Incredible. Just like no filter. No filter. And just like he was saying stuff and like, yeah. It's worth a listen.
They wanna he wants to get back on that bull again and see how long it lasts this time.
I mean, the best thing is these were all one-word answers. Like this guy is the crotchety old executive. So Bellany asks him, is the larger Spider-Verse dead? Rothman, no. Is the studio going to go back to those at some point? Rothman, yes. Will it be a fresh reboot? Yes. With new people? Yes.
It's hard to sort of think about the time frame for all of this to happen. I just don't see it. But he says they're going to go for it. How they're going to do it is going to be interesting. We're going to be all ears to see how if they can actually pull it off and not stay in the same, I guess, abyss of horribleness that they gave us in the beginning with Morbius and Craven and the god-awful Madam Web.
You know what I kept thinking about? Oh my God. You know what I kept thinking about when he said this? You remember the scene in Infinity War where Star-Lord is listening to the plan and he goes, quote, I like your plan, except it sucks. So let me do the plan. And that way it might be really good. That's what I kept thinking about.
Oh snap!
I mean,
I gotta
can
put
someone
that in
explain
there.
to me why we should have any faith that a reboot? Like, look at we've talked about this with Suicide Squad, with Fantastic Four. Where like even if they do a better job with the new version, when you've got this older version that's not that old, but that nobody liked, or that people, or in the case of Suicide Squad, made a lot of money, but then people were dissatisfied with. When you go back to the well with the same ideas and the same characters, nobody's happy.
Yeah.
So why would we have any belief when, as you said, it was, I mean, these were not B-, these were Fs outside of the Tom Hardy Venom movies. Why should we have any confidence that a redo of those, a mulligan on those, is going to lead us anywhere we want to go?
I think he's under the belief that we can't go anywhere else but up. That's the only. We at the bottom. You know, we can't get any worse. We on Street Fighter levels. We can do it better now.
I mean, they're like, he can say the universe is not dead, but I mean, the audience killed it, man. Like the audience was like, it is dead. Like,
yeah, it was the audience. It wasn't. Yeah, the audience was like, nah, we don't like this, and we were very vocal about not liking it. And you're trying to convince us that you can do it better, but we already tasted what you could do.
Well, there's the obvious one way you could do it better. And I will say, in this interview, he was very effusive in his praise of Kevin Feige, because they asked him about the state of the MCU. And he literally was like, don't worry about it. He said, because, and it was interesting, because this is, like I said, a really crotchety, long-time executive who clearly meddles and has strong opinions. Just look at what happened to X-Men Origins Wolverine and all that sort of stuff when he was involved with Fox, with the X-Men side. But he flat out said, he's like, they were like, don't worry about it. He's like, because Kevin Feige is a genius. He's like, whatever you think, however smart you think he is, he's that much smarter. He's like, he will figure it out. They'll be fine. It's interesting. Just like he says it like so matter-of-factly.
Yeah, sure, we can chalk it up to too many minds. You know, like too much going on. Too much for him to think about with what was being asked of him during that time where Bob Chapek was around and they were requesting more output.
Yeah.
And we got to a place where we saw the cracks. We saw the faltering happening right before our eyes. And and when we got to a point where something decent came around, we just weren't around. There weren't enough supporters to sort of revive the heydays of the MCU, despite Thunderbolts being a decent movie and Fantastic Four being visually, I think, a good representation of what Fantastic Four could look like. And there were some fantastic moments there, but certainly some questionable decisions made with that movie as well. With Tom Rothman, like, yo, you gave us Morbius, Madam Web, Craven the Hunter. It's like you gave us bad after bad after bad. And I'm pretty sure you heard it the first time. Yo, this is horrible. Yeah. And you said, we're going to try again with this movie. Yo, this is horrible.
Yep.
We're going to try again. You know what I'm saying?
Definition of insanity, right? This is the definition of insanity. Same thing over and over again. Expect different
going to your restaurant.
Yeah, I just thought of the comment. I thought the comment was interesting because we know Rothman and Feige have butted heads over certain creative decisions within the Sony Marvel partnership. He didn't have to say. I just thought it was interesting. He didn't have to say what he said to the level he did, and I thought it was. I thought it felt genuine, where he kind of was like, "That guy is that thing you think," and I thought that was interesting to hear him say that. He did also drop, and I talked to you about this before. I got to mention this Spider-Man No Way Home thing that I never knew. So this movie was not shown in China. And he said it really annoys him because it made $1.92 billion without China.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Right? And this is at a time when China would have been coming out, right, for this movie. So he said, they asked him why. I never knew this. He said, well, they just said one small thing, his quote. They said, no problem. Just cut out the Statue of Liberty, which is where the climax takes place. That was the request. So the host, because of course, you know, they're leaping around the statue at the end, right? And so he's like, that's like the last 20 minutes of the movie. And Rothman said, yeah, there was that. And also, I really didn't look forward to standing up in front of Congress and telling them I cut the Statue of Liberty out at the request of the Chinese Communist Party, end quote.
Can't do that.
But the funny thing is that they asked him, so does that mean there's nothing like the Statue of Liberty in Brand New Day? And he just kind of smiled and he was like, nope. So, meaning the movie is going to be shown in China, and they did make that adjustment.
So those numbers should be interesting to see what they are.
I think they will, because I think Spider-Man might still be, as we saw with like Spider-Verse. Spider-Man still sells overseas in a way that Fantastic Four didn't, Superman didn't. I think that this movie does have a chance to really be something in Asia.
Coogler, X-Files gets a lead, and Coogler will direct the first episode, the pilot. Cue Jules. So what's happening there, Brian?
Well, it was rumored before, but Danielle Deadwyler is going to be, I guess she would be the new version of Agent Scully, although it sounds like Coogler's kind of redoing some of the backstory here for his version of the show. But so she's confirmed as the lead. Disney and Hulu are teaming up to host the series, so he's still working with Disney in this case, not with obviously Warner Brothers doesn't have Warner Brothers would have been HBO, but X-Files was a network show, and I think he's honoring that. He's not doing premium cable. But then he's the exciting news is he's directing the first episode, writing and directing the first episode. So I mean, your expectations have to be incredibly high. Although when I saw this, I kind of chuckled and was like, I bet his mom made him do this. It's like, because it's like, if you're going to do this show, you better freaking direct at least one of the episodes for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, how can you not be excited? I mean, Ryan Coogler's going to write and direct an X-Files episode. Those are things that I never thought that I would see.
And who's the lead that he's cast?
Danielle Deadwyler.
What has she done?
I'm going to look it up. I know people will know her from stuff. She was, so she won, she's been nominated for awards for The Piano Lesson. That one I don't know. The Harder They Fall. What has she done? I've seen her in something else. I want to say I've seen her on TV. She guest starred on an episode of The Bear. She was a guest star on the Watchmen HBO series.
Okay.
So anyway, but this was supposedly the person he's wanted all along to be the lead. So
interesting. Storm?
I know she's been mentioned. I probably wouldn't. I mean, I think we've kind of litigated the choice. I mean, I don't think she will because she's a little too old, I think, for what they're looking for, right? So
interesting. Yeah, I never really watched the first. I know it was the talk of the town when it first came out. X-Files and it was the talk of the town. I think when did it?
Early 90s.
But the episodes came out on Sundays, right? Was it on Sundays?
Yeah. Sunday, yeah.
So that was the talk of the town on Monday morning. That's what people were talking about. X-Files.
Yeah,
so I remember those days. Yeah.
A lot of my classmates watched it. We used to talk about it. Yeah, no, it was definitely, it was different. You know, it was like one of those shows that just like there wasn't really anything like it at the time. The irony and the funny thing is like, right, so that comes out in the early 90s, and you think about that's basically pre-internet, and so that show really exists without the internet. You know, like really without smartphones, right? It's like flip phone. You think about like what he's going to have to do now in a society of conspiracies and you know what I mean? Like the connectivity, like I'm fascinated to see how he updates this because the show to me is like completely different because of that versus what Duchovny and Gillian Anderson were doing.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how, and not to say that people are waiting for this to happen, but this guy doesn't he doesn't lose a lot in terms of what he puts his hands on. I mean, Eyes of Wakanda, whatever to me, but
I think he's a step removed from that, though. It's not like he wrote and directed the animation. He produced it. He executive produced it, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
But this is going to be interesting to see what he does, and I'm definitely going to be one of those individuals to watch it and see his genius at work, right? And what we're watching, Brian, Night Agent was good.
It was it.
This
season.
was TV right here. You was like, oh snap. This was good. This was good stuff right here, Brian. What'd you think? And I can't help but see him as the new Cap one day. I don't know. He just has that look. But in action wise, he moves really well, and I think he can pull it off. But this show right here was way better than I don't want to say way better, but it continued to keep you engaged and interested in what was happening next.
This was my favorite season of the 3.
Absolutely, yes.
I thought it was a really tight plot. I think, so like I liked season 1 better than season 2. My complaint with season 1 was I didn't really like the Rose character that much. I didn't really like that. That kind of was taking me out of some of the scenes. So this one, I liked the presidential couple. I thought they both did an excellent job. I liked his new partner. I thought he was really good as sort of like is he good? Is he bad? And then I thought the reporter who actually she was the season 2 lioness on the Paramount show. And so her as the reporter, I thought she was excellent as well. So I really like how they cast this season, and the action was really good. The pacing was awesome. I mean, the thing was the show was moving at like breakneck speed. I also like the assassin guy. He was good.
Yeah.
That storyline was really interesting.
What was the guy? What's that show that got everybody? The vampire show.
True Blood?
Yeah, I think it was True Blood, right?
Okay. Is that what yeah, okay.
I think that's where he's from. Yeah.
So I really liked him as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was crazy. This was the best season. The action was really good.
Absolutely.
You know why you see him as Cap partly? Because the way they write the Sutherland character, he's just a really earnest, nurturing guy. That's the thing. This show pauses for him to take care of that kid. He's always seeing the best in people. That's part of why you see Steve Rogers in him.
Yes, absolutely. And he's always promising that everything's going to be all right. But sometimes don't trust him.
So I asked, my wife loves the show. We watch it together. I asked her a question. I want your opinion on this. Do you think Gabriel Basso in real life is as anxious and fidgety as he plays this character, or is that all acting? Because I'm telling you, when you watch this show, part of the reason it makes me be on the edge of my seat is he is always pacing. He's always like twitching. And I'm like, is that just the actor doing that? Or is he actually like that as a person?
I think he's probably a little bit like that as a person. I've heard him in an interview, I think once, where I think when he was done with the show, with the first season or something, he was working at construction, doing some other job and stuff like that, because he just couldn't. There was nothing else to do. I got to work. So I think he's probably like that, but I think he definitely, this is his thing right here. And I hope to see him in other stuff that isn't this, but this.
Well, he had a supporting part in Catherine Bigelow's House of Dynamite, and admittedly, he was like a White House he was a White House official. He wasn't an agent in that, but ironically, like he kind of played it a little bit like his night agent character. So he was in a suit, but the way he talked was kind of similar. It was a small part. They already greenlit season 4, which is great. So they can give it to me now. I mean, I'm glad that season 2 and 3 were not that far apart, because we banged this one out in like 2 days.
Yeah. You definitely did the same thing too. You're watching. What else are you watching?
I finished Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I would recommend that. And it's interesting. I texted you something. I sense an emerging little pattern here of, and I said there's this weird parallel to Wonder Man that I couldn't get out of my head while I was watching this show, in the sense of you're seeing these big franchises have success by making something small and making something local and just relying on the charisma of a couple key people and not trying to do too much. And I think that's part of the reason we loved Wonder Man the way we did. And I think Night of the Seven Kingdoms restores some of the faith in Game of Thrones the same way. Because, and I thought about it again in the context of X-Men. So one thing Night of the Seven Kingdoms did that I thought was really interesting was, and it was honestly to save money. They did it to save budget. The entire show takes place basically in one place around one event, a tournament, a single tournament of jousting and, feats. That's it. So 6 episodes, you're literally localized around this character, Duncan the Tall, trying to gain entrance so he can compete in this tournament. And then the season ends basically with the tournament. And that's it. There's no attempt to, there's backstory. So right, they do the Wonder Man thing of like they flash back, they give you they fill in the gaps, right, of why we got to where we got to over the course of the 6 episodes. But there is no attempt, in this expansive world that George R.R. Martin created, there's no attempt to go to King's Landing. There's no attempt to go to the North. They are referenced as names that we, of course, know now, whether we read the books or saw the show. But this show does an outstanding job of just saying, let's understand this one character, his motivations, his background, what makes him heroic, what makes him flawed, and that's it. And these episodes were 30 minutes each, just like Wonder Man.
Oh, wow.
So you could just rip through this show. And I was like, you're seeing this trend. That's 2 now, where like a Marvel show has done this and it's worked, and a Game of Thrones show has done this and it's worked. And you're like, I think you're going to see more of it. Wouldn't shock me if you saw a Star Wars show where they do something like this. And again, when I think about building something like the Mutants, this is how you can do it and get us invested in an actor, invested in a character, and fill in enough backstory to where if you want to then transport them into something bigger, the work has been done.
It's funny that you mentioned X-Men, because we still have to have a conversation about how they do this.
Yeah. Which, by the way, in the context of our DC Paramount discussion, has become more timely, I think.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be opposite each other.
I'm also watching Cross.
Oh, yeah, you like that. I'm not on that show yet, but you like that. You like Aldous Hodge is
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Okay,
yes. And the guy, the Old Spice guy. That is a good it's a very entertaining show as well, Cross. It's too bad. I listen, I like binging shows. Because once it's over, then it's like, what's next? But that's the only bad part of it. And I don't want to be stuck watching. That's horrible. But and also we were watching Traitors. I don't know if you watched Traitors.
Oh, is that the one that Alan Cummings?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like he's having like a moment. It's kind of like as he comes back as Nightcrawler, like he's actually like a bigger star because of that show than anything else.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into that one. I will say I did watch the season premiere of Monarch.
Oh, yes, I know that's on. I got to watch that tonight probably.
I will say this. The one thing I really respect about that show is I really feel like they do not cut corners on the visuals. Despite it being TV, I give that show big ups because when Kong is on screen, it doesn't look like there's much of a drop off from what you see when he's, in Godzilla versus Kong or Kong Skull Island. And it's the same was true of Godzilla last season. Like the monsters look like high budget, like Apple shells out for this. And like, I don't know how long they can get away with the like Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell, 2 different time period parallel show. But they've got, it's like those guys you can just watch and it works because you can so tell they're related, and watching them actually try to play the same person. I don't know. I'm just sort of like inherently fascinated because you just don't get to see it very often. Yeah. So they're both good. They got Anna Sawai before she blew up with Shogun. So they've got this like Emmy Award winning actress just like on the show, about monsters. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I just enjoy what they've been doing. I'm here for it. I know the whole thing has gotten completely out of hand. This whole like Hollow Earth is crazy. Like the whole idea is crazy, right? But weirdly, I actually think the TV show is more grounded than what they've been doing with the movie.
Yes.
Because the monsters still act like monsters in this show. They ain't like running sprints like they are on the big screen and breathing pink fire and all that. We're not doing that in the TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm like I'm never really looking for like Godzilla minus zero or whatever.
Yeah, that we look forward to.
I cannot wait for that. But these other joints, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'll go see it because my son likes to see it, but no thanks. But yeah, let us know in the comment section below. This has been The Void. A lot of different IP and experiments happening. Some very exciting news regarding Coogler, regarding Mortal Kombat 2. The reaction to that has been I guess people are looking forward to seeing that and have forgotten about the first one. Because when I was watching the trailer, it's like I had no memory of the first one.
There's no footage of the guy who was the lead in the first one. He's alive. He's in the movie. There's no footage of him in the trailer.
Because they don't want to remind you.
No.
Yeah, so let us know in the comment section below, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in this outside of the superhero genre, although there's Spider-Man talks but outside of that, there's a lot of different other pieces of IP that I think people are going to enjoy quite a bit, like Project Hail Mary. One piece I never really got into, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fans out there. And if you are a fan of it, are you going to go see it in the theaters? And if you do see it in the theaters, let us know in the comment section below what sort of crowd, what was the sort of environment, the ambiance when going to see One Piece. But yeah, anything else, Brian, before we sign off?
No, I think that's a pretty good. Boy, we'll be back. Like I said, we're going to do that X-Men show, I think, coming up. And we got a couple other things. The news is going to start rolling in now because we're getting into the movie season. And like you said, TV shows are coming back. So a lot of people are talking. So there'll be a lot to talk about.
You know what's funny, Brian? It's crazy when I saw the numbers. Because of all this Netflix stuff like that, one of the shorts that I put out some time ago, you know how many views it gotten already? 102,000.
I didn't realize that.
That's crazy. And it ended off with you saying you want to really piss people off. Close down the comic book.
Oh, the comics, yeah.
Yes. So I put out that show a long time ago, and now I'm looking at it, and it's just picked up 102,000. I'm like, wow, that's the biggest number we've seen in a while. But yeah, Netflix is experimenting. This is the time. I think this is when Netflix is more dangerous right now, because they really got to think about what they want to do and how they want to be able to extend any lead that they currently have and just keep it in terms of what they're capable of doing.
And you got to ask the question, because they were willing to put up the dollars they were to try to get WB. What else might they want to acquire?
What else is available? Universal?
But no. But I'm just saying, like, I think it took them into a new realm of what people were like, oh, that's what they're willing to try and do. Mm-hmm. And it makes you just sort of curious as different assets that are out there, what might they put their hand up for that might come of it? You never know. But now you have to say, like, they would be a buyer of other IP if it does come on the market. So yeah, let us know in the comment section below what you guys think. And again, if you haven't heard it anywhere else, you heard it here first on Nerd Gen Report, and we'll see you next time.